last night's Big X event can largely be defined as a rant filled with familiar lies and lines of attack.
Let's have a look at the attacks on Elon Musk. Are they cyber? Are they legal? Are they simply metaphorical? And what do they mean? And where do you stand? Let me know in the Rumble chat. Elon Musk, crusader for free speech, or Elon Musk, yet another controlled opposition false flag? One thing is clear. The legacy media, emboldened and excited about their new president, because for them the election is a foregone conclusion. Kamala Harris is to be the next president of the United States. The legacy media is unified behind her. The only potential threat is an Elon Musk, Donald Trump collab. The two immatures, the two mischievous, I would say Machiavels of the right, or the libertarian tricksters. Those two could conjure up just about enough oppositional might to bring down the propaganda campaign for Kamala. Now me, you know where I stand. I don't back any of these institutions. Decentralized power. I believe in you. I believe in Jesus Christ, our Savior. I believe that we could be freed together if we were willing to awaken together. But CNN have got some pretty strong views, and CNN, as you know, are a significant part of the control mechanism. Let's have a look at what they had to say about the Musk and Trump conversation.
Began with 40 minutes of silence and then a bropocalypse of politics. No matter how you frame it or what caused the glitch, what was finally said between Donald Trump and Elon Musk at last night's Big X event can largely be defined as a rant filled with familiar lies and lines of attack.
Look at how it says, like, with false claims and softball questions. Do you remember the Biden debate? We're being invited to forget that that ever happened. Remember the crazy false claims conjured up by Joe Biden? Softball questions. Like, do you know what Kamala Harris stands for? Do you know what is it? Other than sort of rhetoric and rage and sort of, I'd call it almost evolved basket of deplorables language. What does Kamala Harris represent? I don't know. I'm not certain. Are you not sure that she is yet another avatar for the institutions of globalist power that have swept Keir Starmer into his new authoritarian throne? I don't know. Seems likely to me.
Kamala wouldn't have this conversation.
We'll have a look at some of that stuff in our own time, on our own praise, but using our own fuel, as it were. So firstly, Musk's cyber attack claim in Donald Trump interview was fake, claim insiders. Okay. The EU sent a warning letter. This is amazing, because this is in a way, what's more interesting to me, even than the great showdown of the US presidential election, are the new power bases that are forming. I consider populism to be a movement and ideology that needn't necessarily bear the hues, livery, or flag of either the left or right. We could have a populist, decentralized movement that is a possibility, but you will never get that under the kind of bureaucracies that are, in a sense, exemplified by the EU. They sent a warning letter to Musk on Monday reminding him of the bloc's rules against promoting harmful content. That is like a little warning shot, isn't it? It's like they smashed his windows. They kicked his headlights in. You're going to talk to Trump, are you? Well, we'll see about that. With great audience comes greater responsibility, wrote Thierry Breton, the EU's commissioner, unconsciously misquoting Spider-Man and Stan Lee. In a post on X, the irony. Is there a risk of amplification of potentially harmful content in connection with events with a major audience around the world? I sent this letter to Elon Musk. Now, who determines what speech is harmful? Who determines who ought to be censored and who ought to be amplified? And indeed, in the case of Elon Musk, it is Musk himself who decides what voices to amplify. But if Thierry Breton, one of the faceless and sadly not voiceless apparatchiks of bureaucratic systems, they would decide. Now, I am not expressing a view either way on whether Elon Musk should be celebrated as some kind of ubermensch or brought down into hellish dungeons. What I will say is that bureaucracies like the EU are not your friend. Bureaucrats like Thierry Breton, who have formerly used language like, language of sort of gangster bureaucracy, really, where unelected officials, in some cases elected, but certainly public funded officials, are able to implement measures of control that I do not believe are beneficial for you or for me or for our countries. Of course, the UK are no longer in the EU. That was another example of how populism, whether you agree with it or not, can take democracy. And by democracy, I mean the movements inspired by the ballot box, not a set of institutions co-opted and controlled by centralized interests, can still change the world. That's what we should be looking into. How can we get power as close as possible to the people affected by that power? Then you wouldn't have to quarrel with one another needlessly. You'd be able to accept that there are many different ways of being human. You would be able to return to the profound questions of the classics. You will be able to inquire of yourself and one another, what is it to be human? How is it that you want to live? How do we best manifest the divine? Is God real? And if God is real, how do we live like it? And if God is not real, then from where do we derive principles like kindness and service, fraternity and love, unity, togetherness, and the rights of humankind? Because without God, with just reason as your little tool, it's pretty hard to summons up any gusto for such notions. Okay, well, here's some sort of moments from that Musk-Trump conversation. Of course, it's audio only, given that it was on Elon Musk's platform. We can't continue to bring you this beautiful content without the support of our partners. Sticker Mule! Who don't love Sticker Mule? You love Sticker Mule? I love Sticker Mule. And we got some exciting news. We've launched a brand new store on Sticker Mule. It's got loads of stay-free merchandise, including stickers like these ones, plus shirts and stuff. So go to stickermule.com/Rusty Rockets and check it out now. You can use it, look, to decorate your mic stand. If you've got one, if you've got a podcast and stuff, a big portion of sales go directly to us, we here at Stay Free, ensuring we can continue to bring you live, thought-provoking, paradigm-shattering, establishment-provoking conversation on issues that matter. So whether you want to show your support or just grab some stickers, we got you covered. Sticker Mule, that's stickermule.com/Rusty Rockets. Go there now, go check it out. I love Sticker Mule. Look at this, look, I've made my mic stand better. I love this stuff. Sticker Mule. We won't look at Musk praising Trump for his assassination attempt response. That was, a moment we don't need to revisit. Let's have a look at them talking about Kamala's policy around the borders. Let's have a look at that, or listen to, because it is for the audio senses.
Would it be accurate to say that you're supportive of legal immigration, but we also need to shut down illegal immigration, and especially unvetted illegal immigration, because that's not the same as saying that everyone who's an illegal immigrant is bad. In fact, I think most people who are illegal immigrants are actually good, but you can't tell the difference unless there's a solid vetting of who comes across the border. Does that accurately represent your position?
I say it very simply. They have to come in legally. They have to be checked. Yeah. Because look, Kamala was the border czar. Now she's denying it. Everything that I do, she's saying she was strong on the border. We're going to be strong. Well, she doesn't have to say it. She could close it up right now. They could do things right now. It's horrible. No tax on tips, and all of a sudden she's making a speech and there will be no tax on tips. I said that months ago. And by the way, they had just the opposite. They had not only tax on tips, but they hired 88,000 IRS agents, and many of them were assigned to go get waitresses and caddies and all of this on tips. They have a policy. They had a policy that they were really going to go after you and were really harassing people horribly. And then all of a sudden, for politics, she says, she comes out with what I said, which I think is terrible. And I think it's also hitting them very hard. These people are fake. Now they're also saying they did a good job on the border. We had the worst numbers in the history of the world, not of our country. There's never been a country in history that has had a catastrophe like this. We've had, I believe, and I think you believe this too, you hear 12 million, 13. I believe it's over 20 million people came into our country, many coming from jails, from prisons, from mental institutions, or a bigger version of that is insane asylums, and many are terrorists.
Hey, I wonder if the real battle is not the battle between the Democrat Party, the Republican Party, the MAGA movement, and globalists, but really about how bureaucracies that are unelected ultimately want to be able to control media narratives and have the right to legitimately censor. These bureaucracies that have emerged in the post-Soviet world, ostensibly affiliated with democracies, are a curious thing because the condemnation of Stalinism and Maoism is that these bureaucracies, aside from the gulags and the murders and the genocide, were bad things because they centralized power and authority and impeded individual liberty. Organizations like the EU are all well and good, and I say all well as a kind of almost unconscious pun, when they are advocating for, I don't know, progressivism. But ultimately, aren't they sort of bureaucratic meshes and nets that ensure that corporate interests can be met and that individual freedom is always impeded and closed down on? Yeah, they start with Trump and Musk, who I'm sure are flawed individuals in their own way, powerful individuals in their own way, human beings like you and me, I'm sure, ultimately. What we really need to focus on, my friends, is how are we going to overcome these inflamed differences that define our times and confront these structures and institutions that seek to control us. We will not do that unless we are willing to liberate the great light and power that is within us all. May you find it now, but that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments and chats. Consider becoming an Awaken Wonder. You get access to our content first. You get access to additional content. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.